They said he would never breathe normally, never smell a flower, never run without gasping for air. This is Wilson, the dog who was born without the ability to use his nose, and what happened next will leave you speechless. This is the story of Wilson, my gentle, resilient dog who's been through more than most animals ever should, and who's become a living reminder of what love, patience, and second chances can heal. Wilson's life didn't start easy. When he was rescued off the streets of South Los Angeles, he was only 6 weeks old, tiny, weak, struggling to survive. He had a severe abscess on his nose from an old injury, and because of it, he had completely lost the ability to breathe through his nose. Every single breath he took came through his mouth, labored and loud, raspy and desperate. Even while playing, you could see how much effort it took just to stay alive, just to exist. Most people wouldn't have noticed him, just another small, broken puppy in a city full of them. But somehow, he made it into the hands of people who cared. The shelter staff took him in, made sure he was safe, and reached out for help. That's how our paths eventually crossed, through compassion, through fate, through something bigger than coincidence. Before we continue, if you love heartwarming animal rescue stories like Wilson's, please hit that subscribe button. That way, you'll be the first to know when I share new videos every single day. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Now, back to Wilson's story. What happened next changed everything. When I first saw him, I didn't even realize he was struggling to breathe. He was wagging his tail so hard, eyes full of light, just happy to see someone. Then I heard it, the raspy, wheezy sound of each breath. My heart shattered instantly, but there was something about him, something strong, almost unshakable deep in those eyes that told me he wasn't giving up, and I couldn't either. I promised him right there, in that moment, that I would fight for him no matter what it took, no matter how long, no matter the cost. But I had no idea what was coming. What followed were months of appointments, tests, sleepless nights, and constant worries. His medical team went above and beyond, even reaching out internationally for answers. They'd never seen a case quite like Wilson's. Eventually, a surgeon in New Zealand, halfway across the world, helped design a procedure that could give Wilson a chance to breathe again. A real chance. His first chance. The surgery was incredibly complex. They placed tiny tubes inside his damaged nasal passages and held them in place with small buttons on the outside of his nose. For 10 long weeks, those tubes stayed in. 10 weeks of waiting, wondering, hoping. Just when we thought we were making progress, complications arose. Infections, swelling, setbacks that made me question everything. It wasn't easy for him. The healing process was slow, painful, and uncertain. There were days when I questioned if we were doing the right thing, days when I wondered if we were asking too much of this tiny soul. But Wilson handled it all with the quiet courage of someone who somehow knew, deep down, that this was his chance at a real life, a life worth fighting for. Every morning, I'd check on him. Every night, I'd whisper to him that it would all be worth it, and somehow, he trusted me. But wait, the story takes an unexpected turn. As the weeks passed, something remarkable started happening. The tissue began to heal in ways the doctors hoped for but couldn't guarantee. The structure was forming, the pathways were opening, and Wilson, he never complained, not once. When the day finally came to remove the tubes, we all held our breath. The medical team, me, everyone who had followed his journey. The scar tissue had formed perfectly, creating new airways where there had been none. And then, the moment we'd been waiting for.
For the first time in his entire life, Wilson could breathe, really breathe, through his nose. And here's where it gets incredible.
The first thing he did was smell. It sounds so small, doesn't it? But it was everything. He walked around the yard, nose to the ground, sniffing the grass, the air, the flowers, even my hands. Like each scent was a gift he'd been waiting his whole life to unwrap. We realized in that moment that not only had he never breathed normally, he had never smelled anything before. Not food, not rain, not love. Watching him discover that part of the world for the first time was something I will carry with me forever. As Wilson healed, his heart seemed to grow even bigger. We were fostering a cat at the time, and to our absolute surprise, the two became inseparable. From that day on, every litter of foster kittens we took in had Wilson as their gentle, patient guardian. He'd lie completely still as they climbed all over him, patient as ever, letting them bat at his ears or curl up and nap on his back. One of those kittens was blind, a tiny, fragile little soul who found comfort only when she was near Wilson. Now, 2 years later, she still follows him everywhere. Wherever he goes, she's right behind him, trusting completely that he'll keep her safe. Watching them together is pure magic. Two souls who see the world so differently, yet somehow understand each other perfectly. Wilson has been called a unicorn by veterinarians, a one-of-a-kind dog who carries no resentment, no fear, no bitterness, despite everything he's endured. Most animals with his medical history might be wary, anxious, or fearful. But not Wilson. He's calm, patient, endlessly loving. He greets everyone like an old friend, even after all he's been through. And maybe the most beautiful thing about him is how he teaches other animals, people, everyone, what kindness looks like. The kittens who grow up beside him become confident, fearless, and deeply affectionate. Families who adopt them always tell us the same thing. This cat isn't afraid of anything, and I know exactly why. Because they learned bravery from the most gentle teacher I know. Wilson has shown me that healing isn't just about medicine or surgery or science. It's about love, trust, and the quiet strength of never ever giving up. He's living proof that resilience and tenderness can coexist, that even the most wounded hearts can become the kindest. Every day, I thank him for surviving, for fighting, for reminding me that the gentlest souls are often the strongest ones. What would you have done in this situation? Would you have fought for Wilson too? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and show Wilson some love. In my next video, I'll share the story of a kitten who was given only days to live. What happened next will absolutely shock you. You won't believe it.